I set a challenge for myself to affirm robotically for 6 hours every single day for a whole month. I thought that the more that I affirmed, the faster my manifestation would come in. And I did this challenge last year in hopes of manifesting someone specific into my life. Let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Allie, and on this channel, I talk about manifestation and self development. If those are topics you'd like to hear more about from me, then go ahead and subscribe. All right, let's get into the video. First, we're going to talk about what robotic affirmations are. So, if you've never heard of robotic affirming, then let me explain just really quick. Robotic affirming is basically when you repeat affirmations over and over again, you just kind of do it mindlessly. You're not really thinking about them emotionally or trying to feel anything. You're just looping the same affirmations, the same sentence over and over like a broken record. So, for example, if you're trying to manifest a relationship with someone, then you might say something like, SP is my boyfriend, SP is my boyfriend, SP is my boyfriend. Obviously, you would just fill in the blank for what your SP's name is. So, let's say his name is Jake. Jake is my boyfriend, Jake is my boyfriend, Jake is my boyfriend. You would just continue to say that over and over. So you would just keep going, and some people do it for 10 minutes, some people do it for longer. It just depends on whatever you feel is best. For me, I did it specifically for 6 hours every single day. The whole point of this challenge is repetition. It's not to feel anything, it's not visualizing anything, it's just to feed your subconscious mind through sheer volume. So here's why I even started doing this in the first place. I was trying to manifest someone specific back into my life. At the time, I was super convinced that robotic affirmations were the method to bring this person in. I generally thought that if I just said things enough, then it would have no choice but to come into my reality. And the affirmations that I used were SP is my boyfriend, SP loves me, we're soulmates. And I would just continue to repeat that over and over again, those exact same lines, for hours. My goal was to affirm for 6 hours every day, so I'd split it up throughout the day, like a couple hours in the morning, a few more in the evening. And then I gave myself some grace on the weekends because I'd usually be hanging out with friends or I'd be doing other things. But even on weekends, I would try to at least get 3 hours in. It would feel very tedious. It was as if I was working a full time job. That's how much I would affirm. So, did anything actually happen after affirming for 6 hours a day for a whole month? Honestly, no, I didn't see any results. Nothing changed in my 3D reality. The person that I was trying to manifest didn't come back into my life, and there was no sort of movement that I saw. It just made me feel worse, actually. I went into it thinking that the more that I affirmed, the faster it would come into my life, the faster it would happen. I thought that I was being disciplined and aligned, that repetition would impress my subconscious mind, and that it would take root in the reality as well. But I ended up being really anxious and burnt out, and I felt more desperate, more obsessive. It made me super aware of the fact that I didn't have what I wanted, and it kind of amplified the lack instead of helping me feel calm or trusting. So, yeah, after a month of doing this nonstop, I had to be honest with myself that this method just wasn't working out for me, and it definitely wasn't helping my mental state either. So, here's what I've learned after all this. Robotic affirmations just aren't for me. They make me feel super desperate. They made me feel like I was trying to force something into my reality instead of just allowing it to unfold. And when I'm in that energy of lack and obsession, I don't attract anything. Actually, it just pushes things further away from me. It felt like I was trying to manipulate the universe with repetition instead of just allowing things to unfold naturally. What has worked for me, on the other hand, is visualization and just being the person who already has what she wants and trusting, having that self trust that things are going to work out for you, trusting in the unfolding, and just having that knowing is way more powerful, in my opinion, way more powerful for me. It feels more peaceful and natural and effortless. And when I'm relaxed and grounded and emotionally aligned, things just fall into place. I just don't enjoy repeating something for hours, hoping that it's going to finally click and finally come into my life. So, I'm just going to share a disclaimer. Just because robotic affirmations didn't work for me doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. We're all wired differently. Some people swear by robotic affirmations. They love the structure, the repetition. It helps them stay focused on their desire without overthinking things. And that's totally valid. We all have different beliefs and assumptions that shape what actually works for us when it comes to manifestation. So for me, what works for me may not work for you, but what works for you may not work for me. We're all different. So if affirmations work for you and help you get into the state and make you feel good, then go ahead and continue doing that. The key is to pay attention to how a method makes you feel. So if it's making you feel anxious, obsessive, or just constantly aware of the lack, then it's probably not helping. But if it's making you feel good and peaceful and confident, then you should keep doing that method because it seems like that method is the one for you. So I'd love to hear your experience. Have you tried robotic affirmations before? And did it help you or did it just stress you out like it did for me? Let me know in the comments. I do read them. I'm going to wrap this video up here. At the end of the day, manifestation should feel good and it should feel natural and effortless, not like you're trying to do a chore or that you're forcing something. So, if something isn't working for you, then give yourself permission to try a different method. There's no one size fits all when it comes to manifestation. So, if you need extra support on your manifestation journey, I do offer that. I will have links down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye, friends.